Hi, this is John the Other. This is an open letter to the Delaware State Police, including Colonel Robert Koo. It is also addressed to the Delaware State Attorney General's office under Attorney General Beau Biden, the son of Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden. In addition, this is further addressed to Corporal Detective Mark Xaspo of the Delaware State Police and Judges Tracy Warga and Charles Welch of Kent County, Delaware, along with Kent County Chief Prosecutor Kenneth Haltom. Currently, law enforcement functionaries, including the Office of the State Attorney General and the state's police force, are engaged in a campaign of abuse and legal terror against a citizen named Gordon Smith. Mr. Smith has been arrested 8 times on the accusations of one person, his former wife, Tiffany Marie Smith. All of those accusations stem from a divorce custody dispute, and none of those accusations are proven. And at least 2 of the accusations are known by police to be fraudulent. Yet, the state police and the prosecutors continue to harass Mr. Smith. In response to the repeated false arrests, Mr. Smith has filed a lawsuit against the Delaware State Police. Rather than this being viewed as his right under the law, state police and prosecutors have apparently engaged in a campaign of revenge, seeking to punish Mr. Smith further with continued unwarranted arrests, in an attempt to bully him into silence. This series of charges and accusations is driven by the malice of Tiffany Smith, an individual who has experienced no consequences to date for her 2-year-long pattern of manipulating the police to harass and abuse her former husband and to abuse his children. How can police and prosecutors continue to ignore the accumulating documentation of false and spurious accusations from one member of the public? This manipulation of the police and of prosecutors is by a single person who has learned that police officers, prosecutors, and judges are no more than instruments of her personal revenge for a marriage gone bad. Are you not human beings with intelligence, judgment, and basic human decency? The torment being inflicted on Mr. Smith and on his children has passed beyond absurdity to something even the word obscenity is not adequate to describe. At present, Mr. Smith wears an electronic monitoring ankle bracelet, although he has been convicted of no crime. I was not aware that this was even possible in America. And who signed an order to attach an electronic shackle to Mr. Smith without any conviction against him? That would be Judge Charles Welch of Kent County, Delaware. And what possible justification excuses this gross abuse of Mr. Smith's fundamental human rights? Most recently, the former wife of Mr. Smith discovered a threatening note on the windshield of her car. It was placed and discovered at a time when Mr. Smith's monitoring bracelet showed him to be far away from that note's location. And rather than recognizing the obvious possibility, given her known history of lying, that the ex-wife wrote and placed that note herself, Delaware State Police Detective Mark Xaspo congratulated Mr. Smith for having his imaginary accomplices place the note on his behalf, and then arrested him again. Should the world now regard Delaware as a place where the rule of law has given way to the rule of proxy revenge and abuse by public officials? In each of the 8 times Mr. Smith was arrested, investigations showed the accusations leading to those arrests were unproven and in 2 cases, fraudulent. Are the prosecutors and the police professionals in your state incompetent? Or are they simply corrupt, aggressively pursuing what they know to be false accusations in order to teach Mr. Smith a lesson? Those are not rhetorical questions. Dover, Delaware City Police have filed documentation on Tiffany Marie Smith with Beau Biden's office, the Attorney General, letting them know that they believe her to be guilty of filing false police reports, and to date, nothing has been done to address these concerns. Is this also because Mr. Smith has filed suit due to the multiple arrests? The abuse of Gordon Smith, through the Attorney General's office, through the Delaware State Police, and Kent County judges Tracy Warga and Charles Welsh, is quite clearly a form of torture. And I have to ask, what more do you want from this man? Are you attempting to extract a false confession so you can close your books and pat yourself on the back? And after that, how many other individuals will be harried and abused by the flagrant and the blatantly obvious abuse of law enforcement resources by individuals like Tiffany Smith, by individuals who know they will never face a consequence for abuse of the system? Are there consequences at all for filing false reports in Delaware? Or should Delaware citizens be alerted that anyone may call the police as a method to harass anyone they want, anytime they want? The question is not even whether Delaware State Police, Attorney General, or courts are competent. We must question whether they are morally fit to perform the duties entrusted to them by the people of Delaware. Abandoned by a criminal justice system that is supposed to offer him protection, and attacked by state officials whose conduct is arguably as criminal or more criminal than his ex-wife's, Gordon Smith is now a man straining under the weight of abject corruption and injustice. Perhaps the law in Delaware is just a word, its spirit and its intent squished beneath the weight of official arrogance and corruption, and perhaps the agents of this abuse are now beyond the reach of public scrutiny or the checks and balances provided by actual rule of law. We can only hope, as we do, that our efforts to increase public awareness of this disgusting travesty over the months to come will result in what the justice system in Delaware has so utterly failed in doing: protecting the rights of a citizen from tyranny.